Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Well, connection broke on the other one, so gotta do this one. This camera isn't as flattering. The other camera is more flattering. Oh well. So, continuing with the 8th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, and text 39. So King Satyavrata offered wonderful prayers to Matsya, the Lord in his form as a giant fish bigger than the ocean, and Krishna gave him some instructions that there was going to be an inundation and that the king should prepare. It's kind of like a Noah's Ark thing. There would be water. The Lord would supply a boat. He should attach it to the horn of the fish, this giant fish, which is Krishna. And he should put all the great sages and a sampling of all living entities in the boat, herbs and seeds and creatures, so like Noah's Ark thing, and take them to safety. So pulling the boat with you and all the rishis, the sages, in it, O king, I shall travel in the water of devastation until the night of Lord Brahma's slumber is over. You will be thoroughly advised and favored by me, and because of your inquiries, everything about my glories, which are known as Param Brahma, will be manifest within your heart. Thus, you will know everything about me. Because of your inquiries. So King Satyavrata was favored by the Lord because he inquired from the Lord about him, wanted to know about him. And that was attractive to Krishna. It's because of your inquiries. You will get the answers. What is it? Ask and you shall receive. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Prabhupada's purport, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sanidisto Matakshmi Trigyanam Apavanam Cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, is situated in everyone's heart. And from him come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. The Lord reveals himself in proportion to one's surrender to him. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajamyaham. In responsive cooperation, the Lord reveals himself in proportion to one's surrender. That which is revealed to one who is fully surrendered is different from what is revealed to one who surrenders partially. Everyone naturally surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, either directly or indirectly. The conditioned soul surrenders to the Lord by surrendering to the laws of nature and material existence. Whose laws are there? They're Krishna's. But when one fully surrenders to the Lord directly, material nature does not act upon him. Such a fully surrendered soul is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. Mam evaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. One who has fully surrendered to the Lord has no fear of the modes of material nature. For everything is but an expansion of the Lord's glories. So he sees the Lord everywhere. Sarva kalam idam Brahma. And these glories are gradually revealed and realized. The Lord is the supreme purifier. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitam Paramam Bhavan. The more one is purified, and the more he wants to know about the Supreme, the more the Lord reveals to him. Full knowledge of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan is revealed to the pure devotees. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 10:11, Tesham evanukam partam aham agya najam tama nasyam yatma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Text 39. After thus instructing the king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead immediately disappeared. Then King Satyavata began to wait for that time of which the Lord had instructed. After spreading kusha grass, kusha is the grass they make the mats for meditation, yoga meditation. After spreading kusha with its tips pointing east, the saintly king, himself facing the northeast, sat down on the grass and began to meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who had assumed the form of a fish. So what it looks like is nobody else had an experience yet with this incarnation of the Lord, only King Satyavrata. The Lord has singled him out and revealed to him this incarnation, which is about to perform some marvelous, wonderful activities. Tata samudra udvela sarvata plavayan mahim vardamano mahamegar vasharbi sarma drishyata. Thereafter, gigantic clouds pouring incessant waters swelled the ocean more and more. Thus the world began to overflow onto the ocean began to overflow onto the land and inundate the entire world. So Maharaj Satyavrata is sitting there in meditation, and the rain is coming. Jayan Bhagavad Adesham Dadrishe Navam Agatam Tam Aruroha Vipendrar Udaya Sadi Virudha. So usually, if there's a pious king, there are no disturbances in the kingdom. There are no droughts, there are no floods, there's no pestilence, and all the citizens are happily engaged in their different occupational duties. They are supplied to them, and the whole kingdom flourishes under a pious king, a saintly king. So here, Maharaj Satyavrata, he was such a king like that. But there was an inundation coming, and it wasn't because he was unqualified ruler. It was because something else was going on. Lord Brahma was taking a nap, an unscheduled nap. And there's a story behind that, which I didn't follow. It was accounted why he was taking a nap. I'd like to go back and take a look. Why did he take a nap? There's a reason. So the personality of Godhead himself came to King Satyavrata and explained what was going on and told him what to do, because the king's nature was to protect everyone, and now there was this huge flood. There was nothing he could do. So the Lord explained to him, well, I want you to take a sampling of all the living entities, the herbs, the seeds, the creatures, everybody. I'm going to bring a big boat, put them all in the boat, and the saintly persons who are embodying the Vedic conclusions. They put everybody in this big boat, and we'll take you through this devastation. So he's sitting there in meditation on these instructions he's been given, and on Lord Vishnu, and this marvelous pastime that's going to take place. As Satyavrata remembered the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he saw a boat coming near him. Thus he collected herbs and creepers, and accompanied by saintly Brahmins, he got aboard the boat. Tam uchur manaya prita rajanjaya svakeshavam savaina sang katarasmad avitasam vidhasyati. The saintly Brahmins, being pleased with the king, said to him, O king, please meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Keshava. He will save us from this impending danger and arrange for our well-being. Sonudyatas tato ragna pradurishin maharnave ekashringada Matsya haimot yuta yojayana. Then, while the king constantly meditated upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a large golden fish appeared in the ocean of inundation. The fish had one horn, get ready for this, and was 8 million miles long. I wonder how big the boat was. Must have been a really big boat. He had one horn, like a swordfish horn, and was 8 million miles long. What's the diameter of the Earth? Is it 8 million miles? I don't think so. This is bigger than the Earth. Yeah, it's the whole universe that's getting inundated. Boy, trying to understand this, I'm like an ant crawling across the page. Okay, let's keep going. Ah, Krishna! Nibhajanavam tatringe yatokto harina pura baratrena hina tushtas tash tava madhusudanam. So, just like in the Gita, Arjuna addresses the Lord as the killer of Madhu when he's in an awkward position. Here also, he's addressed as a killer of Madhu, or Madhusudanam. Translation: following the instructions formally given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the king anchored the boat to the fish's horn, using the serpent Vashuki as a rope. Thus, being satisfied, he began offering prayers to the Lord. Sri Rajuvacha. Anadya vidyo pahitatma samvidas tanmula samsara parish ramatara yadricho yo pashrishta nam apanyu apnayar vimuktidona paramogurur bhavan. The king said, "By the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial, and who because of this ignorance are involved in a material, conditional life full of miseries, obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept that Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Spiritual Master." Interesting prayer. Who's the devotee that he's meeting? He must be talking about himself. Talking about himself. There was no other mention of any other devotee. The king said, "By the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial, and who, because of their ignorance, are involved in material conditional life full of miseries, by the grace of the Lord, they obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept that Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Spiritual Master." Krishna. Wow, King Satyavrata. The Lord appeared directly to him. Prabhupada's purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the Supreme Spiritual Master. The Supreme Lord knows everything about the suffering of the conditioned soul, and therefore he appears in this material world, sometimes personally, sometimes by an incarnation, and sometimes by authorizing a living being to act on his behalf. In all cases, however, he is the original spiritual master who enlightens the conditioned souls who are suffering in the material world. The Lord is always busy helping the conditioned souls in many ways. Therefore, he is addressed here as Paramo Guru Bhavan, the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who acts to spread Krishna consciousness, is also guided by the Supreme Lord to act properly in executing the Lord's order. And Prabhupada is talking about himself. Such a person may appear to be an ordinary human being, but because he acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Spiritual Master, he is not to be neglected as ordinary. It is therefore said, Acharya mam vijanayat. An Acharya who acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be understood to be as good as the Supreme Lord himself. This is a verse from the Samsara prayers. Shakshat daritvena samasta shastra uktastata bhavyata eva sadbi kintu prabhurya priya eva tasya vande garoshi charanaravindam. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has advised that the spiritual master acting on the Supreme Lord's behalf must be worshipped as good as the Supreme Lord, for he is the Lord's most confidential servant in broadcasting the Lord's message for the benefits of the conditioned souls involved in the material world. Krishna. So King Satyavrata is such a devotee. And Prabhupada is such a devotee. Krishna. King Satyavrata put the whole world in a boat, and Srila Prabhupada created a house the whole world can live in. Hare Krishna. Take us through the devastation of Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Text 47. Jano budhoyam nija karma bandhana sukhe chaya karma samhite sukham yatsevayantam vidunotya sanmatim grantyam sabindyad hridayam sanagaro. In hopes of becoming happy in this material world, the foolish, conditioned soul performs fruitive activities that result only in suffering. But by rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from such false desires for happiness. May my Supreme Spiritual Master cut the knot of false desires from the core of my heart. Prabhupada's purport. For material happiness, the conditioned soul involves himself in fruitive activities, which actually put him into material distress. Because the conditioned soul does not know this, he is said to be in avidya, or ignorance, because a false hope of happiness, the conditioned soul becomes involved in various plans for material activity. Here, Maharaj Satyavata prays that the Lord sever this hard knot of false happiness and thus become his Supreme Spiritual Master. So it's the false hope of happiness. It's the carrot dangling in front of the donkey. The donkey's carrying huge, heavy loads, and they got this carrot. Here, you're going to get this carrot. Just carry this 10 tons of brick or thousands of tons of whatever. Just carry it. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. So King Satyavrata is going to offer some really he's going to offer some really beautiful prayers here. I think be for another time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shri Vasudeva Gaur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.